Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network, and I'm coming at you from a different location tonight. Just thought I'd do a video. Today is a very news-filled day, as most days are. So, I forgot my tarot cards, but that doesn't really matter because I don't need tarot cards. They're fun to look at. I do have my pendulum. So we're going to take a look at a few things that are going on the home front with this insanity called the midterm elections coming up, and the rise of hatred, people standing on a platform of anti-Semitism, which is disgusting and horrible. And aren't we done with that yet? We ask ourselves quizzically, pensively, and horrifiedly. Donald Trump continues to spew vitriol and venom, because that's just what Donald Trump does. And whenever he feels like he's being made a fool of, he lashes out even harder and more intensely and more disgustingly. So, I just want to tell you that this is what I get on the midterms. I get that it's, how do I put this? The Republicans have already decided that these midterms will be their first display. My light is blinking like crazy. The first display that they are autocrats and kleptocrats. This is where they put it on full display. I feel it, I see it, I'm just telling you what I see. And maybe you don't need to be a psychic to know this, because they're literally spelling it out. I saw Carrie Lake with Dana Bash, and she was asking Carrie Lake if she lost the election, if she would concede. And Carrie Lake, it reminded me of Bolsonaro in Brazil. Or any autocrat, any dictator. No, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna win. So let's get real. They are not looking at elections as elections. They're just looking at it as a game where it's kind of like going through the motions, but they're not going to accept the results of the elections. I know that I'm getting a strong feeling that is very similar to what I felt when Joe Biden won. Like, the American people are not stupid. I mean, the majority of American people are not stupid. We knew that Trump destroyed this country. He let people die. He played favorites in terms of which states would get the aid that they needed during COVID and which wouldn't. The red ones got all his, as long as he got the proper fanfare from the red state, they got what they needed. But the blue states, he didn't even care. See, blue behind me, blue. He didn't even care if people died, because he doesn't care if people died. And they did. And so, I remember a young woman on during the DNC convention in 2020, who said that you may have seen this. It was all televised because we were during a pandemic. We're in a pandemic, and she said that her father went out and sang karaoke because Donald Trump said that it was safe. This Latino woman, and you could just see it. So he went out in the thick of COVID. He went out and sang karaoke because Donald Trump said there was no COVID, and he got sick and died. Remember when it first happened? People were just dropping like flies. It was horrifying. So people in America, they are not stupid, and they decided that Donald Trump needed to not be president anymore because they had it up to here. We had it up to here. Many of us would have never voted for him anyway. But that just put the lid on the whole thing. So I have the same feeling. that Americans, the majority of Americans have had enough of this fighting, of this vitriol, of this hatred. And I mean, the majority are done with this and just want government that works. They're tired of what, the cult members are doing to the tune of, you don't see what's right in front of your eyes. What's right in front of your eyes, you don't see it. Ron Johnson did it the other night in the debate. That was not an armed insurrection. Well, hello. I saw it. You saw it. We're witness to it. So they're creating their own construct of their own reality that they have decided that they're going to stick to. So the midterms will not be fair. The midterms will be their opportunity to showcase that they are autocrats. I'm just giving it to you straight. So that's what we're up against. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow is Tuesday, and we have 20 on Tuesdays, and it's when we do our meditation and visualization to send our powerful thoughts towards our democracy being healed and being saved. So AnnetteDion7@gmail.com, type 20 in the subject line. Pretty sure we're set up for that on my website, kind of new, www.psychicannetteDion.com. You have to put in the .com. And you can sign up there. I'll double check on that, but we will send you a Zoom invite to get together with us for that meeting. And then after that meeting, I do have a prayer meeting going over the readings from my Sunday Church of Spirituality for anybody who chooses to stay for that. Let's take a look at a few questions that I've written down. So tonight's a little different because I usually have my cards. My niece was here and she left and she was going to loan me her cards. And of course I should have taken them right then and there when we were talking about it. But off she went. And so I couldn't use her cards. But I do have my pendulum, and I'm clairvoyant anyway, so cards are just for fun, pretty much. Good stuff, but I don't need them. What exactly was going on with the FBI? I have that question written down. The reason I wrote that question down is because we knew before January 6th, we were all hearing about the violence that was coming. And the FBI was hearing about all the violence that was coming. The FBI knew the plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if Christopher Wray, I got it right off the bat, if Christopher Wray was in on it in some way. And the guides just showed me, for entertainment purposes only, the guides are showing me a backdoor deal with Christopher Wray, where he was, the guides are kind of showing me like you better not say what you know or else. They're showing me something like that, like a backdoor deal. It was the lesser of the two evils in a sense from Christopher Wray's perspective is what I'm picking up on. It was better for him, and I just feel like it was blackmail. For him to not raise the alarm. So let's see. So Christopher Wray of the FBI, prior to January 6th, there were lots of warnings coming in. There was lots of stuff going on there. And Christopher Wray, was there some kind of a deal that happened? Yeah. There was some kind of a deal that happened that he needed to keep his mouth shut. I mean, we knew. I've talked about it at length. I went away and prayed like a few days before January 6th, and I know that it's a miracle that we made it through January 6th, and we have a second chance to save our democracy. I know there are a lot of people that don't understand how much is at risk right now. It's up to us to inform them, friends, family, acquaintances, just people that you encourage to register to vote and to vote. So I do feel like the FBI, under the direction of Christopher Wray, there was some kind of a backdoor deal, and I get blackmail. I'm picking up blackmail. something like that kind of energy. As I said, for entertainment purposes only. These are just my impressions and my psychic facts, and I can call them psychic facts because it's my channel. I also, this is a separate topic, but I just want to mention that I've been hearing about the Chinese buying up farmland in the United States, and the next time I do a reading with cards, we'll look at that more in depth. But let's see if Donald Trump had something to do with them doing that so easily. This has just started to happen. I don't have a lot of news on it right now. But does Donald Trump have something to do with China buying up our farmland? Yes. The answer to that is yes. All right. Okay. Is Donald Trump, somebody asked me this question, so I'm just going to start reeling off questions. Did Donald Trump have something to do with, well, let me put it this way. Is Donald Trump still in communication with Vladimir Putin currently? Is he currently in communication with Vladimir Putin? I get a no on that. I get a no on that. And the guys are just saying, that ship has sailed. I've come to you from this location before. It's absolutely beautiful where I am. And just like before in August, when I arrived, it was raining. It's going to rain again tomorrow, and then I have a few really beautiful days. So I'll do another video too. So I'm not getting that Donald Trump is in touch with Vladimir Putin now, as of recently. Was Trump in touch with Vladimir Putin after Putin invaded Ukraine? No, I feel like that's when it kind of ended. Was Trump in touch with Putin prior to the invasion of Ukraine? Was he still in contact with Putin? Yeah, prior to Putin invading Ukraine. And then my sense is that he just got, Putin just got, like, he had too much going on to stay in touch with Trump. But more than that, Trump was of no use to him, and I get that really strongly. He was engaging with Trump until he invaded Ukraine. Is Putin still conducting psychological warfare through the internet in the United States? Is he still on that? It's giving me kind of a not a clear answer, and also this is a way that the pendulum clears energy. Excuse my flashing moon there. That sounds funny. It's excited. Anyway, I'm not getting an answer on that. So what I'm picking up is that Putin is not involved in psychological warfare in the United States because the seeds were already planted and he doesn't really need to do that so much anymore. But, you heard it here, but you heard it in other places too. Russia interfered with the 2015 election. I mean 2016. You know what I mean. Seems like ages ago. A lot has happened since then. Is Donald Trump going to show up for his subpoena? That's giving me a round circle too, but now it's going to yes. That's going to be interesting. That's for sure. Very interesting. Last night we had a campfire and I was scrying into the campfire. Did you ever do that? You look into the flames and you can see things. I'll post a picture that I got in the flames. Really cool. Really fun. Anyway, I digress. I hope you had a good Monday. And I hope that you got a chance to check out Church of Spirituality yesterday. Really, really good theme yesterday about spirit and the sacredness of spirit. Really good stuff, and more people are joining. I'm really wanting to hit 1,000 views. I know the word church scares people away, but it's just about we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it really is inspiring. So please check it out. It's free. I'm not asking you for anything. If you'd like to book a reading, by the way, go to psychicannettedion.com and you can book a reading right on site. And while I'm doing my little intermission, the class this Saturday, the Zoom class for our Magical Saturdays in October series, is the magic of mediumship. So please join us for that. You can also sign up on my website for that. Saturday afternoon, 2:30 to 4 Eastern time. Yeah, that's right. Grassroots of Democracy still meets too. So go to my website for all of that. And if you have any questions, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Next question is Carrie Lake simply planning to steal the election? These are just questions that I wrote down. Was Carrie Lake planning to steal the election? Yeah, so she really is. This is what I was getting at the start. They have no intention of the election being a gauge for whether they win, unless they actually win, which is how Carrie Lake in the primaries got into the position that she's in. She was saying that she was gonna contest it and that they were gonna cheat and people were gonna cheat, and then she got elected. Was it legit when she got elected? Was Carrie Lake legit elected? Okay, so she legit got elected because she's got so many people snowed with her lying and her vitriol. So will Carrie Lake, is it looking like she has the votes to win in Georgia? I'm getting a no on that as governor of Georgia. And I'm just seeing her pulling an absolute hissy fit. You know, she's really nasty to Hobbs. Is it Katie Hobbs? In Arizona. Just a terrible, terrible human being. You know, she just wants to bully. You know, Carrie Lake reminds me of, you know, like, if you were kind of like, you know, a good person and quiet in high school, if you're a female and you just kind of minded your own business, Carrie Lake is the kind of woman that as a girl in high school, she's very middle school how she acts. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the same way. Very middle school how they act. Carrie Lake would be the one that would pick on you if you were just sitting there, you know, minding your own business, studying in the library or something in school. Carrie Lake is a big, fat bully who thinks she's God's gift to, I don't know, she thinks she's so beautiful. And people, you know, maybe she's physically attractive, but her soul darkness and ugliness, just when I lived in the South, that's what we say in the South, right? She's just being ugly. Well, she's a very ugly soul. And she will bully Hobbs, but I'm kind of feeling like she's not legit going to win. Is Hobbs going to win? I'm feeling like Carrie Lake is not going to legitimately win. Is Carrie Lake going to fight? Oh yeah, she's going to fight. And she's looking for a fight. And that's how she is. And that's what I was describing when I was just talking about, you know, being in middle school. Those people in school, in high school or middle school that they were looking for a fight. They were looking to bully someone. And the reason that people do that, bullies bully because of a deep-seated lack of self-esteem. A deep-seated sense that they're worthless. They might have picked it up in this lifetime. They might have picked it up from a past lifetime. But, you know, and even the most heinous dictators had that. Deep, 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 deep down, they feel completely worthless. So just something to keep in mind. The other is Doug Mastriano, that he's planning to fight. If he loses, he's planning to fight. So it's kind of new in a way that today, just being, you know, kind of hanging out and just like checking out what's going on in the news and feeling out what's going on, which I do all the time anyway, but I was kind of just in the state of just kind of picking up on what was going on. So today's the first day that I got straight out. These elections, these midterms are not elections. They're something else. Is justice going to prevail? Well, I'm getting a yes that justice will prevail. So they will have to accept defeat. Now, this is what I also get is that, and I said this the other day, I feel a very close race. I mean, close, you know how they're neck and neck, and so a lot of close races. A lot of, taking away voting rights. It's the gerrymandering and redistricting and taking away voting rights that are causing this to be neck and neck in so many states and so many races. So I do see the Democrats pulling ahead by it just looks like it's the same as it is now. Like they retain the majority, but it's by the skin of their teeth, and we have to really put a lot of positive energy out there for that to be the outcome. Barack Obama is campaigning, helping to endorse Democratic leaders. I'm not sure exactly where he's going this week, but I had channeled John Lewis last week on the Wednesday when I was doing my channeling, and I was picking up on John Lewis, and I think it was John Lewis was kind of giving me that he was whispering in Barack's ear because he wanted to nudge him to get more involved in helping these Democrats to win their races, and now I'm seeing Barack Obama is doing that right now. So is it going to help? Let's see. Is it going to help the Democrats? Absolutely. There are so many people in this country that are aware that's going on. Remember, it wasn't very long ago that in the polls about what is most important to you, that most Americans, top of the list was saving democracy. I don't think that's changed. I don't trust the polls. Like, what, did all those people change their minds? We have to kind of listen to the news with a grain of salt. I feel like that's still first and foremost on people's minds. So, no, there are a lot of variables, and I really do hesitate to ask who's going to win. But all the psychics did get, that Joe Biden was going to win. Like I said, I'm feeling really similar to what I felt in 2016 about the midterms. Excuse me. Let's see. Are the Democrats going to retain the majority? I get yes. I get the Democrats are going to maintain the majority, but it's by a very, the skin of their teeth. Is Josh Shapiro going to win in Pennsylvania? That's kind of going around in a left circle. There's too much going on there. That indicates to me that there needs to be a clearing. We need to go smudge, take our white sage to Pennsylvania and smudge. I actually am picking up that Doug Mastriano would start a riot. I'm not predicting that that's definitely going to happen, but I do feel that Doug Mastriano, entertainment purposes only, based on my psychic impressions, my psychic facts, I feel like Doug Mastriano is already planning. It's really interesting because it looks like he's planning just a carbon copy of January 6th. Is Doug Mastriano planning for violence if Josh Shapiro wins? Okay, and he's an anti-Semite. Mastriano is filled with a vitriol and a hatred towards Jews. I don't understand. None of us understand this. It doesn't make any sense. Just, let people be who they are. What did Jewish people ever do to him? I mean, was Doug Mastriano a Nazi in his past life? Okay, well, there you go. I have Doug Mastriano was a Nazi in his past life. I see him as one of the big generals in Hitler's army. That's a very strong yes. Mastriano was a Nazi in his past life. Was Alex Jones a Nazi in his past life? Not Alex Jones. The only reason that I'm asking that is because they have similar energy. So the other night, I heard somebody somewhere on some show say that, who was it? it might have been Jimmy Kimmel, was referring to Alex Jones as a sunburned walrus, and I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I don't make fun of people, but when people are that heinous, anyway, Alex Jones and Mastriano have very similar energy. These people are reptiles. They're not human. I mean, they're in that part of their brain. That's the reptilian brain. It's awful. It's very, very unevolved. Was Alex Jones a dictator in a past life? Okay, so Alex Jones was a dictator in a past life. So that's why he has this sense of, I can just be heinous. And in the past, speaking of people that were horrible in past lives, I got that Marjorie Taylor Greene and one of her past lives was and it was like in medieval times, and I saw her working in like the torture chamber and enjoying inflicting pain on people. That's the energy I get from Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are just my psychic impressions. I'm just saying what I've picked up on because I do see past lives, the ones that the guides show me. Because I have asked, what made these people so horrible? And Vladimir Putin was Prince Oleg, O-L-E-G, in Viking times. Look it up. You'll see. I think he used to have his wives murdered. It's just... Don't worry, there are really good souls on the planet. There are more good souls than bad. It's like we can get into long, involved conversations about why some people are so horrible and so inhuman. The battle between the dark and the light. Okay, let's see. How's Joe Biden doing? Is Joe Biden going to be able to reap the rewards of his hard work? And I'm getting a yes on that. So that bodes well. That bodes well. So I'm getting a really strong sense, and that's a big yes. I'm getting a really strong sense that when people start to see the results of the infrastructure bills and the Inflation Reduction Act, which there's so much good stuff in it, you have to get everybody out to vote. I mean, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, was it last night with Marcus Flowers? He was so flustered. I don't remember if I was watching that on YouTube. Yes, I was. Marcus Flowers was so, not flustered, just he was so enraged by how she was behaving and how she was acting. And I think the debate between them was cut short because it was not even a half an hour. And that was barely enough time. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was just spewing all this craziness. And I have to tell you, when I was watching the debate, when she was spewing all this craziness, I saw Viktor Orban from Hungary, who she's been studying under. His energy was all over Marjorie Taylor Greene during that debate. I could see her learning from Orban, learning what to do, what to say over and over and over again. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. If you're an autocrat, this is how you do it. You pretend you're in a democracy, but you keep saying the same crazy things over and over. And boy, aren't we done with people talking over one another? That started with Kellyanne Conway, and I am just so done with it. But that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Heinous performance. And I haven't even gotten to talking about Herschel Walker yet. When I was watching the debate between Warnock and Walker, that they are so close in the race in Georgia, in the Senate race, Warnock and Walker, it frightened me to my core. It frightened me to my core. And what frightened me the most is that Herschel Walker has, I mentioned this to the people in the Grassroots of Democracy group, he has a mental disorder. And I feel that he has had a lot of concussions, Herschel Walker. And the mental disorder is a dissociative disorder, which is basically a split personality disorder, which if somebody has that, they have that. I don't want that person who's already proven himself to be a dangerous man. I don't want that person in an office where they are working to working for the lives of Georgians and working for the United States. Herschel Walker is grossly incompetent. These people are mentally incompetent and impaired. And I'm not saying that as a judgment. I'm saying that as a truth. Herschel Walker threatened to kill his wife. He held a gun to her head. The thing about dissociative disorders is the person leaves their body and they black out. And this is what we're looking at. And Raphael Warnock is, how can you say anything bad about him? He's had, we all have made mistakes, right? But it's like apples and oranges. Completely different, opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of competency and goodness and being public servants. It's never been so crystal clear what's happening. That can be a blessing in disguise, because we will work very hard and tirelessly. We will work very hard to save our democracy, because to have this country, it's already at risk in so many ways. To have this country have people in positions of so-called leadership that have that low, bottom of the barrel level of incompetence is freaking scary, as scary can be. But I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you hope. Joe Biden is president. The coup didn't work. And this is a continuation of the coup. But the coup didn't work but for the grace of God and the angels. And that is, I really believe that to the depths of my soul. And we need that to happen again. We need for the Democrats to win. Time is of the essence. It's urgent. I decided to kind of, just go peace out so that I can really focus my thoughts on what needs to happen. We need to win. So Warnock did a great job. I don't care what anybody says. He did an excellent job, and his closing arguments were great. Go to YouTube and watch it. Trump is out there, he's been subpoenaed by the January 6th committee, and then he turns around and says, threatens the Jewish population of the United States. If you haven't seen that, you can go look it up. I want to just give a shout out to Midas Touch for how much they are on top of the news every single day. We have to support their organization. They're only funded by people, so they're doing a fabulous job. So support the people that are out there supporting democracy, and just look only to them for guidance and help and information. I just dropped my glasses. I guess I don't need them. Okay. Are any Republicans at all going to come out against anti-Semitism? Any at all? And we can't really count Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger because they've already been booted out for being decent. I know, it's crazy. This too shall pass. Are any Republicans going to say anything about the anti-Semitism that's going on? No. Boggles my brain. Oh, the one I left out, I mentioned Ron Johnson, but I left out the debate when Ron Johnson got laughed at because he said the FBI was doing something illicit. They were spying on him, or they set him up. Ron Johnson said on the debate stage that the FBI set him up, and then people laughed. That's not the first time people are laughing at these candidates. Because they laughed at Herschel Walker when he pulled out the fake badge. And let me just ask the question: did Herschel Walker really believe? I'm telling you, he's like a child. He's like an elementary school child. Herschel Walker gets up there and he behaves as if he's an elementary school child. That's all fine and good, but don't run for office. Did Herschel Walker really believe that that badge made him a police officer? The pendulum is actually saying yes. I am dumbfounded. Remember, Herschel Walker said, I'm not that smart. He didn't want to debate. Oh, and then he didn't show up to the next debate. Excuse me. I just remember that. Herschel Walker didn't show up to the subsequent debate after the one where he pulled out the fake badge. And the woman who was the moderator was like, she sounded just like a school teacher. You read the rules. We told you no, you can't have any props. Oh my God. I know, it's hard. Is Ron Johnson going to win? I think Mandela Barnes is going to win. I'm not seeing a win for Ron Johnson. I think Ron Johnson has really angered a lot of people. Ron Johnson is up there thinking that all he needs is to be rich to win. And Mandela Barnes really kind of called him out on the Ron Johnson's money comes from, I guess he married money. I don't spend my time researching the background of people like Ron Johnson, so I don't know what, I'm sure you're right in the comments what Ron Johnson's in-laws, what they're all about in terms of how they got all their money. The money corruption has to stop. But I got that Mandela Barnes is gonna take it. Now, will Ron Johnson concede? Nope. This is what why I came on tonight. Well, I always come on Monday anyway, but I have to tell you, these elections, these midterms, these Republicans, these cult members, these people that call Trump the orange Jesus, they are not looking at these midterms as regular Democratic elections. They're looking at these midterms as a big fat joke where they're just going to say they won. We saw Carrie Lake just do it. You can look it up if you missed it. Anyway, why the anti-Semitism? Is that part of psychological warfare coming from Putin? Yeah, the anti-Semitism is part of the psychological warfare coming from Putin. So even though I don't feel like Putin is still communicating directly with Trump, he's already planted the seeds in our social media and in the national discussion. I know that it's really hard to accept that it's 2022 and people haven't evolved past this idea that because somebody has more melanin in their skin or they were born in a certain, into a certain religion or they wanted to practice this in a certain way. I cannot believe in 2022 this is where we are with the racism and everything else. And I know that a lot of you feel that way too, but I do feel like this is the battle of before the light really plows through. So be part of that. I know how tempting it is to go, oh no, this is terrible. We're going to be a fascist, country. I know we can go there, but do not go there. Promise me. I know this is pre-recorded, but promise me you won't go there. Promise yourself you won't go there. Okay. Are enough Americans engaged to make a difference? Enough Americans are engaged to make a difference. I feel like Obama getting out there and, helping his Democratic candidates running for office, I feel like that's going to make a pretty significant difference. And it did when, prior to the 2020 election, it really did make a difference when he got out there and was, I remember that when he was stumping for Joe Biden. Remember? Everybody was in their cars beeping their horns because of COVID. So let's see. There must be something else I need to look at because there's always so many things. Let's see. The last time I came on a week ago, I have some notes from a week ago. We had Tuberville spouting racism at a Trump rally, so really just putting it on display. like they're proud of being racist. Just really awful, awful, awful stuff. Let's ask. I was thinking a little bit about Elon Musk today, and I really don't think he's well mentally. I don't think Elon Musk is mentally well. I think he's I I get this sense about Elon Musk that he's lost touch with reality. Maybe he's always been like that. I don't know. I don't tune into him that often. When I do, if he feels android-like, very detached from his emotional self. I know Elon Musk has Asperger's, but I get that, not everyone with Asperger's is that way, but according to what I know. But let's just ask, does Elon Musk know what he's doing? I'm really feeling like Elon Musk doesn't know what he's doing. He's just going from, he's like working for Putin, and then he thinks he's working for Ukraine, and then he thinks he's buying Twitter. And is Elon Musk really buying Twitter? Is Elon Musk really buying Twitter? The other day I read on it, and I saw that somebody else was going to be running Twitter. Is it going to be? Is Elon Musk going to own Twitter? Is he? I'm getting no. Okay. Is this because of financial reasons that he doesn't? Yeah, there's something financial with Elon Musk. It doesn't look like he's gonna be able to, but it definitely looks like it's financial. These are financial problems for Elon Musk. That's a big yes. Is it Tesla? Are the financial problems with Tesla? No, not with Tesla. Are the financial problems with SpaceX? It looks like it's a space program that's going to be really bleeding money. Calm down. Calm down. I know there's a lot of news. If that's not plugged in properly, it wonks out like that. Plus, my energy's been messing with all kinds of electronics. It even has happened here. I feel like electronic problems are just following me around. I need to clear them. Anyway, all is well. It's nothing that important. Okay, so let's take a look at the coming few days. Oh, so let me remind you, join us for 20 on Tuesdays. I think you can sign up on my website, but if it's not clear, then just AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Send me an email. Type 20 in the subject line, and you can join us tomorrow for our 20 minutes of guided meditation to visualize and see a healed America. It's possible. We had Barack Obama for 8 years. It's possible. Joe Biden got into office. It's possible. Let's just stay in the possibility thinking. I always tell people, if you didn't leave the country and you haven't died since Barack Obama was in office, and I mean that in all seriousness, then you're still here, right? So there are a lot of people that are like-minded that want to save democracy, that are really very, very, very invested in saving democracy, mentally, and even financially. And please, I do want to mention, please just send $5. These Democrats running for all these important offices are counting on even the little donations. So I know it's tempting to go, oh, just $5, that's not going to do anything. But it does. And a lot of times others double or triple whatever you put in. So, millions times $5 is a lot of money. Support Warnock, support Marcus Flowers, support Shapiro, and just all of them. There's so many good candidates, so many really good Democratic candidates. It's so clear. It couldn't be clearer. It's like highly competent versus still at an elementary school level, but it's just an insult to elementary school students. Still at that level of no maturity mixed with malignant narcissism. It shouldn't be any contest. I'm here in a part of the country that's real rural for a few days, and I see the Trump signs, and it's just like people that aren't educated, and that's not a judgment. It's just they don't know what they're wanting because they have not experienced fascism. I mean, neither have many of us, but still, we use our brains and we read and we know history and we understand it intellectually, at least. It's hard. So I'm going to ask about Florida and Ron DeSantis because I mentioned last time that I don't know where Ron DeSantis is. The hurricane damage and destruction and all those poor people that lost everything have dropped out of the news. And I'm wondering if Ron DeSantis is creating this lack of news through pushing the news media away from Florida because it's bad there. Does Ron DeSantis have something to do with there not being coverage about the hurricane? Yes. Is Ron DeSantis banning the media from Florida? Yes. That's what's going on there. Is Ron DeSantis set to cheat in the election? He's set to cheat. That's a big yes. Ron DeSantis is set to cheat in the election. So, people, that's a big yes. It's pretty evident. What I have seen, what I really got clear as a bell today, was this is not a democratic, legit election to these people. They are not viewing it that way. They're just planning to steal it. Just like on January 6th, I'm not including the violence in that, but in the sense that it doesn't matter if people wanted the other candidate, they're just going to take it. That's a lot of fascists. But I don't get that they're going to win. So, there you have it. I think that's it for now. Join us tomorrow night. I'll be back on Wednesday. Not sure what I'm doing on Wednesday. Let's see. Maybe another channeling session or a reading. Because Corey's back in town for our show, The Psychic and the Sidekick, Bridge Cape Ann. But since I'm out of town, I'll probably do something on my own and then reconvene with Corey next Wednesday. I haven't even talked to him. I think he's still out of town. So, and that's on Bridge Cape Ann. If you go to that YouTube channel, you can look at any of the old shows. They're always quite long. And we'll probably be back next week. Not outdoors, indoors somewhere, because it's getting a little nippy. I had to turn the heat on. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate all your support. I read all your comments, and I'm so appreciative. I barely ever comment back because I just don't want to play favorites. That's all that is. And thank you. If you'd like to book a reading, go to my website, psychicannetteDion.com, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. Be good to yourselves. Bye.